Hello and welcome. My name is Angie Holden and I'm the blogger behind the Country Chic Cottage. And I have a very cool machine next to me, which is our review video today. And this is the xTool Apparel Printer. Now, as I film this video, the printer might be making some noises, but that is what you want because it just turned off. The printer is stirring that white ink. So you have less maintenance with this printer and fewer issues. And I did want to say that xTool did send me the printer, the shaker oven, and the air purifier for this review. However, all projects and opinions are my own. I've said in previous videos that I would never own a DTF printer because of the powder and the health concerns that are associated with it. So if I said that I would never own a DTF printer, then why am I reviewing this printer right now? The only reason I agreed to review this printer is because I also got the shaker oven with it. So the powder is completely enclosed. It prints your image, automatically powders it, shakes it off. You don't have to touch the powder. And then it immediately goes into a curing oven where that powder is cured. For safety reasons, they do recommend that you ventilate this printer. And I do have the xTool air purifier hooked up to it within this video. I will link to it in the description below this video as well. I highly recommend using that with this printer. You do always want to be safe when crafting, especially with DTF powder. And between the shaker oven combo here that keeps everything enclosed, as well as the air purifier, I feel good about having this one in my space. So as you can see, this is kind of already set up. This does come on a pallet. The setup is very easy. I was super impressed, first of all. The shaker oven comes basically as one piece. I'll walk you through a few minor setup things here in a minute. However, the design of this and being able to roll it right off of the pallet, I really liked the design overall and the packaging of the shaker oven. The DTF printer itself, again, I'll walk you through a few simple things for setup, but really the setup was so simple and so easy, and I was ready to start printing with this right away. So first of all, let's take a look at those few setup steps. I unboxed the shaker and dryer as well as the printer, set the printer on top of the shaker dryer. And you do want to be sure to remove all packaging material from the printer. And that includes opening it up and removing everything from the inside. I will include moving this print head, removing the packaging material around it, as well as the film that will be all the way around the print head. There may also be packaging material down inside of the printer. On the side here, you will want to open this panel, and you want to look inside of here and make sure you got the film off of the bottom of the print head. Be sure not to touch the print head at all. So I moved my print head all the way back over to the side, and then I'm looking inside, and there is still a piece of film that I needed to remove. I just want to note that when you place this printer on the shaker oven, it does need to fully seat against this. So we played around with it quite a bit to get it in the proper location. Just a note that this tool does have two ends, so you'll need to get the right end for tightening these screws. You're going to put two screws inside of here to secure the printer to the oven shaker and tighten those down. On the side is where you will find the fill for the powder. Just press that to open it, then rotate it to the pull and pull it out. You want to pour the powder into the tray one bag at a time. A bag is about 1 kilogram. Make sure nothing is in the tray and then just pour in your bag of powder. Then you can add the tray back to the printer. The open side is up as you push it in. Push it all the way in, rotate the blue dot to the pour section, and then close the door. That pours the powder into the shaker. Then at the bottom, you're going to attach the output tray. Make sure this is in and the feet are out. Then just add the tray here. You will also be attaching the power cord as well as the vent pipe to the back of this shaker oven. However, I am going to go ahead and set up the printer before I do that. We're going to start by installing the roll of paper. So I'm going to move the print head all the way to the right. And then I need to open up the pinch rollers. There's a switch all the way over here on the side, and you'll just toggle that up and the pinch rollers should lift up. Next, you're going to go ahead and add the brackets to the back. There's a left and a right, and screws and a screwdriver are provided. On this far bracket, you'll then flip this up Then you can add your roll of paper. Now, you do want to make sure that the paper is coming off of the top like this, so it needs to be rolled this way. Then once you have this into place on both sides, you'll just close this white piece to hold it into place. Then you can start feeding this paper through the slot on the back of the printer. And we're going to go around to the front of the printer and line it up. From the front of the printer, you'll want to make sure it's going under the rollers and under the guides on both sides. Then you can just sort of feed some more through here, making sure that it's going under the guides. You can move the guide plates on both sides. So a good rule of thumb is that the edge of the paper should be in the middle of the holes that are running down the guide plate. This side is not, so I'm going to move it. So I'm going to push this one over until I can see about half of the edge of this paper in the holes running down through here. So you would repeat this on both sides if needed. Next, I'm going to remove this cover on the back of the printer to fill the ink colors. So for colors, we have CMYK as well as white, and then there's also one over here that is for moisturizing liquid. I'm going to fill that one first. Now this is for maintenance. So you just lift up in the back, flip open this flap, and you add the liquid to the container. Now you don't want to overfill. So the maximum capacity on this one is 1,000 milliliters. Each of the colors are 500 milliliters, and white is also 1,000 milliliters. So for each of these, we're going to make sure whatever it says on the outside of the bottle, it also says that on the tank. So this is the moisturizing liquid. This bottle that comes with it is only 500 milliliters, so I'm going to put the entire bottle inside of this tank. For each of these bottles, you're going to have to remove the cap, and there's going to be a protective film here that you'll want to remove. Then you can add the cap back on. Then there's a cap here, and you'll just remove that. Now you can just pour this into the tank. Go ahead and close that up, and then repeat for the colors. So for the yellow, I'll go ahead and open that up. I've already removed the protective film from the bottle. And this is 500 milliliters, so I'm going to go ahead and attempt to put all this in here, but do watch as you're pouring and just make sure that you don't overfill the tanks. So I'm going to go ahead and close this and then repeat for the other colors. I'm at my final tank, and that's the white tank. You do want to be sure to shake the white ink really well before adding it to the tank. I was also going to say that only fill one of these at a time. I did have some splash on each of these, just a little bit, but you never want to get, like, say, yellow ink in your magenta tank. So be sure to do one at a time with the rest closed. So then you'll just fill the white tank up and close it. And now this is done. And I am just going to replace the cover over the top of this once it's done. You'll have a power cord for the printer, a power cord for the shaker oven. Then you need to connect the printer to the oven with the cable that is provided. Then I'm going to go ahead and plug both pieces up and go ahead and follow the on-screen instructions. Do this before you connect it to a computer. Okay, so during that process, I had to remove the cover off of this print head. I had to open and close these clamps. Just be sure to follow all of the instructions that are on the screen. Everything on, this is not a quiet machine. So right now I have the printer on and the shaker oven. This is without the air purifier on. That adds a little bit more noise when I turn that on. I just wanted to note that because a lot of this video, I won't have the sound of the machine running in the background. So I'll do a voiceover for a lot of it, so you get an idea of the sound level. So now I have this all set up. It's working. I did mention that air purifier. I did hook that air purifier up to this, and I will be using it. And then I did want to note something. So I have this sort of pushed into this corner just so I can get everything in the frame. Me, the printer, everything in the frame to talk to you about this printer. However, this is on wheels. For safety reasons, I will be wheeling it out into like the center of the room in order to print. And there are also some notes about the air purifier being as far away as possible from the printer during operation. So be sure to read through those manuals and follow all safety instructions when operating this printer. Now, once you have this set up, it will walk you through printing your first print. It's basically like a sample print. I highly recommend going ahead and walking through that process. It really helps to familiarize yourself with the software as well as the printer and the shaker oven. So now that we have everything set up and we are following our safety instructions, let's print something. So let's head to xTool Studio to print. So once you have this set up, you're going to go ahead and download xTool Studio. That's the same software you use for all of your other xTool products. Now, it was called xTool Creative Space and it recently updated to xTool Studio. So within this video, I am going to be using the new xTool Studio. I went ahead and uploaded my design, resized it, and I like to duplicate it to fit the sheet. Now, as far as I can tell, about 14 by 17 inches is as large as you can print at one time. And there are margins on the side that are grayed out and you don't want to print within those margins. So it is a little smaller at about 13.5 inches wide printable area. So go ahead and set up your print. Now there are a variety of settings that you can change. You can change your white, you can change your colors. I just left it at the default settings for this video so we can see what kind of colors we're gonna get out of this. So before you get started printing, I did wanna note you wanna turn your printer on, you wanna turn the shaker oven on, and you want to turn your air purifier on. So everything needs to be on before you start that printing process. And then you'll go ahead and hit print. Once you hit print, the printer will start to print on your film. Now you will notice that it is printing mirrored and that is okay. It will lay down the color first and then the white on the back. Print will then feed through and it feeds through into the area where it will be powdered. And as it goes through that powder area, it also shakes it to remove any excess powder. So it'll work its way through that powdering area and then it will drop down to the oven area. And I do want to note here that the print time that shows on your screen is only for the printing. So only for the printing time. There's extra time for powdering as well as curing. Now you can go ahead and queue up another print job and hit print while something is curing in the oven, and it will go ahead and start the next print job. I do also love that it has a digital control panel and I can see exactly what's happening. I can even do some maintenance right from the control panel, but I can also see the progress of my print job. So then you'll just wait for the print to cure in the oven and it will come out of the bottom tray. So all the way at the bottom of the printer, there is an output tray and your print will come out of that tray and it will be complete. So at that point, the powder's been applied, it's been cured, it's ready to press to whatever you're going to put it on. Now remember, DTF prints are for textile surfaces, so shirts, tote bags, hats, and so much more. You can print a variety of different sizes with this printer. I am printing some rather large things within this video, however you could print smaller prints as well. It will cut off your print wherever your printing stops. If you have something small you want to print, I recommend moving that to the top within xTool Studio so it will just print that small top area and then automatically cut your film off within the printer so you don't waste any film. So the film is on a roll, so it just rolls out however much you need and cuts it off. So that printing process was amazing, super simple, and it came out with a print that I can now press. So I'm going to head to the press and give these prints a try. So I always like to preheat my garments. So I went ahead and preheated my garments. I have my heat press set to 330 degrees Fahrenheit. Then go ahead and place your DTF print. If you have more than one print on your film, you will want to cut them apart before you start your pressing. And I would recommend cutting off the edges of any of these prints where those feed holes are located. So be sure to cut those feed holes off before pressing. Once you've added your print, go ahead and press for 15 seconds. Then allow that to cool. Remove the carrier sheet, add a piece of parchment paper over the top, and do a post press for about 5 to 10 seconds. Once that post press is complete, your item is done. It is ready to use, ready to wear. DTF prints last a really long time, and now I am thrilled that I can make them at home with the xTool Apparel Printer. Now let's talk about the not so fun part, and that's going to be the maintenance. So it does come with sort of a shortcut guide to the maintenance that you should perform. Now, this has way less maintenance than other DTF printers on the market. However, you are going to still need to print regularly and or do some shutdown procedures. About once a week, you will need to do some maintenance. And I will drop a link below where you can learn more about the maintenance if you are worried about the maintenance portion of this machine. Now, I do think that this one is way above a lot of the other DTF printers on the market. as far as maintenance goes. Those you have to do maintenance every time you start up and every time you shut down. And if you can hear right now, I'm just sitting here and talking to you. My printer is doing a few things in the background. It's stirring that white ink. It is doing some maintenance right now. So you want to leave the printer portion plugged up at all times. You can turn the oven shaker off when you are done. So you would turn that off when you are done printing for the day. And you would also turn your air purifier off when you're done printing for the day. Now, you might have saw it kind of go black. It is going to sleep at this point. You may come in the next day to print something and it be sort of dark and you're like, did I do something wrong? You absolutely did not. You can just touch, there's a button up here around the control panel and you can just touch that to sort of wake the printer up. So is the xTool Apparel Printer for you? So obviously I have this printer. It is in my tiny house craft studio. It is something that I like and recommend. Like I said, other DTF printers on the market, I just won't review them. I won't review anything where I need to do a manual powdering process. And anything with an automatic powder system and oven like this is huge. It would take up this entire room if I was to get other DTF printers on the market. This is fairly small for a DTF printer, and I can print fairly large prints. Plus it automatically powders. It's all enclosed. I don't have to breathe in the powder as it cures in the oven. I hook it up to the air purifier and I feel completely safe operating this printer. I found it extremely easy to set up, extremely easy to use. So I would say if you are in the market for a DTF printer and you want something in a smaller size, something that requires less maintenance than other DTF printers, something that is safe for you to operate in your space, I would definitely check out the xTool Apparel Printer. Now, you can purchase the Apparel Printer by itself, but I highly, highly recommend purchasing the shaker oven with it, as well as the air purifier. That way you get this total combo and you are printing, powdering, it's curing in the oven, and it just comes out as a complete print and you're not touching the powder, manually powdering, curing with a heat press where you don't know where those fumes are going. You know that everything is enclosed within this one system, and that makes it safer, in my opinion, than other DTF printers at a smaller size, which I absolutely love. So now I will link to everything in the description below this video so you can check it out for yourself. And I would also like to hear from you. What other videos would you like to see on this apparel printer? Drop down in the comment section, let me know what else you would want to see. And also ask your questions about this apparel printer. That will also give me an idea of what other content you want to see. Now, if you like this video and it helped you, give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, head on over to my YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. I have videos just like this one every single week, and trust me, you don't want to miss any of those. So thank y'all so much for joining me, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.